rise.
Tikia!
Please be seated. Unfortunately, the sound of the shofar has similar sounds to sirens that have been going off throughout Israel over the past week. And on this Shabbat, it seems like we are heading towards another war up in the north, just in time for the start of the Jewish New Year. It's painful, it's heartbreaking, and together we still come together. My friend Rabbi Evan Schultz wrote, "I can feel the dissonance of the destruction and the pain of war with the message of Rosh Hashanah, Hayom Harat Olam. Today the world is birthed. Young soldiers will heed into battle this year as the shofar cries out through broken blast in synagogues across the globe. Who will live and who will die will feel too real and palpable as innocent souls perish in the throes of violence. Standing before our Torah scrolls, 101 hostages still remain beneath the earth, hungry, alone, and afraid. And yet, on Thursday and Wednesday and Friday, we will still gather, and we will pray and sing. Amidst rockets and explosions, battles, and bomb shelters, we will pray. We will pray that from the destruction and violence and pain, we will somehow find a way to birth the world anew. A world where we study war no more. A world of creation and creativity. A world of compassion and love, wholeness and peace." We begin our Shabbat service with prayers for peace, prayers for shalom, page 24.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mo'achem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Marchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We continue on page 20 with the words of Lachad Odi. On the final verse, we will rise. We will face our sanctuary door as we welcome the Sabbath presence.
Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat Nekavela. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat
just welcomed the Sabbath bride, I invite you to welcome someone you don't know. Wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Please be seated. Each year on the Shabbat before Rosh Hashanah, we prepare our souls for the days of awe. Tomorrow we will gather at Temple Shalom in Scotch Plains for the ritual of Slichot. But we wanted to give the opportunity for our congregation to gather when we judge ourselves on the high holidays and when God judges us. And we also prepare our sanctuary for this moment. To help us change and reach towards holiness, we change our Torah covers to white to signify purity and sanctity. As the Torah covers go from dark to white, so may our motives and our actions change from greed to generosity, from selflessness to compassion, from fear to faith, and from indifference to righteousness. I offer an intention as we come to this moment of the new year. In the twilight of the vanishing year, we lift our hearts to you, O God. We give thanks for all the blessings which fill our lives with joy, for the love of family and support of friends, for the comfort others have given us in difficult moments, and for the privilege of life that you have granted us. Now the time of repentance and renewal has come. These days of awe provide us with moments to meditate on the meaning of our lives, on the worth of our deeds, and upon the regrets that mock our noblest intentions. No human being lives without failures. No year passes without its disappointments, its sorrows, and its sins. So turn to us, open the gates of the new year, and grant to us our loved ones, and our people and all peoples, life, health, contentment, and peace. We turn to page 360 in our Siddur. I'm going to invite up the Halpern family, the Sawyer family, the Israelo family, Gardner Israelo family, Jablanka Searfrost family, and the Frederickson Cohen family to help us change our Torah, and I invite you to rise.
To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time
continue on page 28. We remain standing.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Le'olam va'ed Ya la 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 ya la la
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim v'chochma poteach sha'arim u'bibuna meshanei itim u'macharif et hazmanim u'mesader et hachochavim v'misroteim barakir kirtzono borei yom v'layla borei or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or u'ma'avir yom u'bein layla Umavdil be'yom u'bein layla, Adonai Tzebaoth Shemo, El Chai v'chayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai Hamariv Arabim. Together at the top of page 33. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? So let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mysteries. Baruch Atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מצוות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 40. The act of slowing down to renew oneself is intrinsic to the experience of Shabbat. Renewing our souls on the seventh day is both life-saving and conducive to our spiritual growth. Our sages believe that on the Sabbath, we are endowed with a higher level of awareness, perhaps because we slow down a bit. Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish said, "The Holy One gives us an extra soul To each person on the eve of Shabbat, when Shabbat leaves, the extra soul departs. The additional soul helps us leave behind the turmoil of the week and to experience the joy of Shabbat. Page 44. We continue on page 46. Please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agitei hatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'Konei HaKol, Ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Ge'ula Livnei B'neihem, Le'ma'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, Bezrat Sarah.
Each week since October, we have remembered one of those being held captive. And we reserve a space of honor for them on our bima. Tonight you will see the photograph of Matan Zauker, age 24. He and Ilana Gritzweski, age 30, were abducted from their kibbutz near Oz home on October 7th. Ilana was released on November 30th as part of a temporary ceasefire deal, but Matan is still being held captive. Matan's parents divorced when he was young, and he often took care of his younger sisters. He is known as an independent, mature person, always available for support and understanding. Matan's mother said that he is strong and a survivor. He is believed to be held underground with several other living hostages. Matan, as you were robbed of life, you will return to life. We're fighting for you, said his mother. We now pray for his and all other captives' release.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Matir asurim, matir asurim.
We continue with Tefillat Halev, the prayers of our hearts. And when your prayers are done, please be seated. Page 358.
Achat sha'ati me'et Adonai. Achat sha'ati ota avakesh. Achat sha'ati me'et Adonai. Achat sha'ati ota avakesh. Shifti, shifti, bevet Adonai. Shifti, shifti, koyemei chayai, lachazot benoam Adonai. Ulvaker behechalo, lachazot benoam Adonai. To gaze upon the beauty of Adonai. One thing, I ask you, Adonai, to be with you all of my life. Achat sha'ati. Achat sha'ati me'et Adonai. Achat sha'ati ota avakesh.
We turn our hearts and minds now to those who are in need of healing. Mishaberach Avotenu ve'imotenu, Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel v'Leah, Hu Yivarech et HaCholim. May the Holy One who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are now ill. This Shabbat we think of Menachem Mendel Ben Gidel, Mark Rafe, Vida Aziz, Diane Cooper-Schmid, Harry Mesh, Zani Adiv Ben Ruvain, Ba'ahva Simcha, Lucas Muhlenweg, Stanley Freelander, Celia Schwartz, Sandy Gold, Warren Philip Kosen, Phil Kaufman, Surah Bat Eliezer, Victor Morales, Elaine Rosenberg, Avram Kobe Ben Yisrael Ruvain, Margalit, Elliot Barry, Larry Rosen, Trudy Rosen, Marty Eisman, Chazan Reuven Peretz Ben Etel, Tom Musella, Elihu Aron, Emily Carey, Irene Gecker, Morton Gorella. And if there is someone for whom you are praying tonight and would like to share their names with us, I invite you to do so now. And we add to those names we hold in our heart. Page 253. Each week we are reminded that life always holds the promise of sweetness. We thank God for the gift of Shabbat and pray that our cups will always runneth over with joy. So please turn to page 5. And if you are celebrating something this week like a birthday, I'm looking at certain people, or an anniversary, or maybe you're becoming bar mitzvah tomorrow, or maybe you have chosen to join your lot with the Jewish people. I will invite you to join us up on the bima, and I'll ask the congregation to please rise. So our B'nai Mitzvah families.
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzav banu, v'shabbat kodesho, v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra
gentlemen, you two are going to be called to the Torah tomorrow morning for a very special Torah portion, Nitzavim, which means we are standing, and the two of you will be standing at the Torah scrolls yourselves tomorrow, and we are so excited. So this Torah portion is all about the covenant that God makes with the Jewish people. And God tells us that covenant is made with everyone, including the two of you. Now, I've worked with the two of you, so I know personally that that covenant is in good hands, right? Great. So we are all excited to celebrate with you. We know that you will hold that covenant that you will read about tomorrow morning close to your hearts forever, and that you will always cherish the Torah that you'll be reading from tomorrow. So Mazel Tov to the two of you and your families. And who else is celebrating something? Birthday. You just came up. It's happy hour on the Bima. And Anne. Conversion. So thank you all, and Mazel Tov to everyone. You may be seated. So one of the privileges of being a rabbi or cantor is being a part of someone's journey to Judaism. It is a gift to see someone's knowledge of Judaism deepen, their bonds of community become stronger, their connection to Israel grow. Often, choosing to become Jewish is a step in a process of loving someone who is Jewish, of raising Jewish children, of being part of the Jewish community, of feeling Jewish. Anne Fredrickson has made that journey. Anne, who has done all of these things, has been a member of our adult B'nai Mitzvah class. And over the summer, Cantor Goldman, our student cantor Ilana Mulcahy, and I had the privilege of accompanying Anne to the mikvah. We asked Anne to join us this Shabbat so that our congregation could be part of celebrating her journey. And when you said you were ready to formalize your conversion, I asked you why. And now is your chance to tell the entire congregation why.
Thank you. Yeah, so Rabbi asked me to speak about my conversion process, and I think it would be appropriate to start at the very beginning for me to kind of understand my path to Judaism. And for me, it begins at birth. My mother was a very religious, faithful person, I would say. So before I left the hospital, I was baptized twice by the nuns, just in case, because she wanted to make sure that my soul made it to heaven in the event that I died before I could be formally baptized. Like I said, she was a very faithful person, but sometimes religion did not always serve her needs, particularly Christianity. And as a result, she tried to impart some of her beliefs on me and tried to raise me in the Episcopalian faith. So I went through all the steps. I did Sunday school, I was confirmed, I was even an altar girl. And that was interesting because I don't think I actually chose it because of any faith belief. I think I chose it more as a feminist because my mom said, well, you know, it's not very often that girls get to serve in this religious capacity. So I thought, well, I'm going to do that then. But by my teenage years, I really didn't feel that this was right for me. I was very sure that I did not believe that Jesus was the Son of God. And frankly, at that point in time, I really didn't think that God was real. I was not sure. And at some point, I said to my mom that I wasn't sure about these things. And instead of being upset like I anticipated, she kind of shrugged and said, well, one day you'll understand. Okay. So years later, I met my husband, Josh, and his Judaism has always been extremely important to him. He lives his Judaism out loud. And I admired him for his faith and his commitment. And it was part of what attracted me to him. He has lived his Jewish values, some of which were very similar to my own values. And as we talked about marriage and a family, he was very clear that it was important to him that our children be raised Jewish. And that was fine, but he never asked me to convert. He left that to me to decide. And I was clear at that time that I didn't really feel that I could convert, because how do you convert to a religion if you're not sure you even believe in God? So we got married, and we joined a synagogue, and I did an Intro to Judaism class with him. I learned about the customs and the holidays and the beliefs. And around the time that we started to think about having a family, my mother got very ill, and in a short period of time passed away. We were with her when she passed away. She was in sort of a coma-like state, but at the very end, at that moment, she opened her eyes, she looked at the corner of the room, tracked something across the room, and then it was like her breath was pulled from her body. And I believe that she, at that moment, joined a higher power, God. And I remember thinking right after that moment, she was right. Darn it. So after that event, the question about converting really wasn't for me about whether I believed in God. I knew now that God existed. God was real. But now it was a question of whether I felt Jewish. And at that point, I wasn't sure if I felt like I belonged. And it wasn't because of any way that anybody else made me feel, it was because of my own anxiety. I questioned if I knew enough about Judaism. Was I living a Jewish enough life? Was I just going through the motions? However, over the years, Josh and I have raised 2 wonderful sons. We have built a beautiful Jewish home. And I have felt connected to all aspects of that. The synagogue, I have felt connected here. I have felt connected to our traditions in our own home. And then the events of October 7th brought me to a place emotionally where I felt that I needed to take that next step. Until then, whether I converted never seemed that important. I was doing everything that I should do. But suddenly I felt like maybe I was an imposter. I was living the life but hadn't made that final commitment of conversion. So I started to feel that there was an importance not only to me, but to my family, my friends, for me to make that final step. I started researching the conversion process, and right as I had gotten up the courage and I was going to send an email to Rabbi Appel and Rabbi Prosnit, and all of a sudden I got this email about the adult B'nai Mitzvah class that was being offered. And I thought, sometimes God sends you a sign at the right time, just when you need it. So, from there, the rest fell into place really quickly. I want to thank Rabbi Appel for his guidance in this process. I want to thank my boys for their support. When I was getting close to the conversion, I asked them how they felt about it, and one of them turned to me and shrugged and said, "I kind of always thought you were Jewish." It was at that moment that I knew I made the right decision. And lastly, I really want to thank my husband, Josh. He introduced me to Judaism, to its wonderful history, customs, values, and community. And he always supported me, and he allowed me to come to this space and time in my own way and as my own decision. So I want to thank him very much.
First, and by virtue of your study, your soul searching, your immersion in the mikveh, and your declaration, you have taken upon yourself the identity of being Jewish. And as you enter this covenant of our people, we welcome you with your Jewish name, and you chose Shachar, so you are Shachar Bat Abraham V'Sara, and may it be a name that brings you and the house of Israel all blessing. And now I want to invite Josh, Miles, and Oliver to join us on the bima.
Please rise.
And I say these words, but I say this blessing on behalf of everyone who is here. May you have the wisdom of Abraham, finding the courage to question and the certainty that there is an answer. May you have the strength of Jacob, wrestling with the messenger and questioning the message. May you find the same joy Miriam found at the shores of the sea, bursting into a song of gratitude and awe. May you follow in Ruth's footsteps, taking strength in the faith of our people. May you know that it was to be at Sinai when the mountains trembled and the trumpets blared and the people proudly pledged, all that Adonai has spoken we will faithfully do. Today, we add your name to the list of those who witnessed the fire in the desert. You are now counted as one of those who live by the example of the Torah, subject to its commandments. Your future is tied to its past, and we welcome you with open arms.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'echihanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'echihanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
We remain standing for Our Lady.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'ateit kedua l'yotzer reshit, shelo asanu k'gayei haratzot, velo asamanu k'mishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechohamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, livnei melech, malkei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
And if you want to be a part of Anne's bat mitzvah, b'nai mitzvah, our adult b'nai mitzvah class will be coming to the Torah in March. We have a couple members already here this evening, and so we look forward to celebrating with them on the bima as well. As we prepare to say the words of Mortis Kaddish, each week we invite someone in our congregation, if they choose, to share a little bit about a name on our yahrzeit list, helping us bring stories to life, helping us to remember our loved ones. This evening, Steve Barkan is going to share a few words.
It's 50 years since my dad, Abe Barkin, died, September 12, 1974. I was the oldest of three boys. My father would do anything for the three of us, enthusiastically. A few recollections of my dad. He grew up in Brooklyn and was an avid baseball and Brooklyn Dodger fan. We went to Ebbets Field where the Dodgers played many times. I became an avid Yankee fan, and I always remember that he never seemed disappointed. If I was happy, so was he. When I got interested in baseball, I was 9 years old in the 5th grade. My father was so excited, couldn't wait to buy me a baseball glove. I was a lefty. My grandmother called me a linky. But my dad couldn't find a lefty glove, so he bought me a righty glove, which I still have. So I eat and write lefty and catch, throw, and bat righty. I didn't know. He kept looking, and when he later found a lefty mitt, I told my dad I just couldn't learn to catch and throw again. This summer, Willie Mays died, and the story of his amazing catch in the 1954 World Series was again in the news. I have thought of that game often over the years because I watched it with my father. I can still picture like it was yesterday, where each of us was sitting in the living room of that house, the house where I grew up in Bradley Beach. He was on the couch, and I was on the chair right to his left. By the way, we never expected Mays to catch that ball, but of course he did. As I said, he died in September of 1974 after a brief illness, which is the month we joined the temple. So this is our 50th year belonging to members here. He was not Orthodox, but when we told him, he broke into a big smile. He was so happy about it, and so were we. Rosh Hashanah came right after he died, and we had so much support from the temple and our friends here. It's also the yahrzeit of my sister-in-law, Marcia Barkin, who died way too young 8 years ago. She was a wonderful mom and a truly wonderful wife to my brother Andy. Anytime you went to their house, one thing you noticed was the pets, cats and dogs and fish. I'd like to read something written by one of her 3 children, Abigail, which ties into that. Marcia Barkin is remembered by her children for her loving and generous nature. She was always giving things to those she cherished. It was her way of letting them know they were always in her mind and heart. She had a very soft spot for animals, having rescued many dogs and cats over the years, and also volunteered her time at the local animal shelter. She was a very special woman and is missed by all who loved her.
Thank you, Steve, for those stories about your father and your sister-in-law. We also remember those in our midst who have died in the past 30 days and the anniversary of our loved ones' deaths. If you hear your loved one's name this evening, I invite you to rise and remain standing. We recall loved ones who have died in the past 30 days. Andrew Nowakowski, brother of Bonnie Polanco. Harry Gerber, father of Nicole Markowitz. Diane Edreich, mother of Lori Gould. Frank Weiss, husband of Joan Weiss, father of Pam Wernow. Moshe Artsy, father of Stephanie Fern. Rosalind Zerber, grandmother of Daniel Aronov. And Alan Kaufman, father of Jack Kaufman. On the anniversary of our loved ones' deaths, we remember Grace Alameno, Abe Barkan, Marcia Barkan, Faye Berenson, David Belosa, Michael Broder, Elka Shafetz, Sanford Chorney, Kenneth Richard Diamond, Nancy Dunn, Mary Edelson, Muriel Einstein, Abraham Eisenberg, Marie Elbaum, Phyllis Farrer, Julia Sprinkle, Cindy Garshovsky, Fred Glass, Tab Gerland, Mildred Wash Horowitz, Ross Kagan, Francis G. Kantz, Margaret Carolis, Marcia Kendler, Mark Koenigsberg, Fred Kraft, Benjamin Kuntner, Elizabeth Labovitz, Frida Lerner, Charlotte Leabader, Zena Lipper, Oscar Manquette, Arlene Ann March, Sharon Marcus, Samuel Mileselman, Shirley Meehan, Alvin Pollock, Coleman Pizenica, Paul Howard Reiter, Jerry Rosenbaum, Dagobert Runes, Abraham Starkany, Miriam Sanders, Abraham Sarlat, Harriet Sarlat, Edwin Schlosser, Bernie Schneiderman, Daniel Seidman, Bob Silverstone, Julia Small, Beatrice Sorrock, Faye Staffen, Ida Stein, Annie Strauss, Louis Tannenbaum, Willie Barron, Karen Weinberg, Lazarus Wiener, Saul Weisbrot, Dora Wiener, Manny Winters, Rebecca Wyshensky, John Euro, and Augusta Zagarin. If you are on the first year morning, I invite you to rise as well. In sacred solidarity, we rise for the words of Mourners Kaddish as one community, found on page 294. Yikada v'yikadash shmei Rabbah, v'yamad v'yirach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Israel, b'agala v'zman kariv yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah v'yvarach le'olam amei amaya, yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipahar v'yidramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudashah b'richu, le'elah mikol berchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechamata, Tamiram v'yama v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah mit shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Osei shalom b'mirma, uyasei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and all of Israel. As together we say, Amen. Please be seated. Mazel tov to Sawyer and Luke on becoming a B'nai Mitzvah tomorrow. We look forward to celebrating with your family as you end our year of incredible B'nai Mitzvah at Temple Emanu-El. Tomorrow we have Holy Scrollers as well as Simchat Shabbat at 9 a.m. Not much happening next week here, but but we look forward to marking the new year with you. Erev Rosh Hashanah services Wednesday at 5 o'clock. The weather looks good. We'll be in the tent, and then followed by Rosh Hashanah day 1 and day 2. Day 2, we've created a picnic after Tashlich. If you would like to order food, please do that by Sunday so we have the count and we can put the count in. But we look forward to celebrating with you this new year. Thank you to our cantorial intern Ilana, and of course Suzanne, and all of you as we celebrate Shabbat together. Our closing song, Osei Shalom.
Osei Shalom b'mroa, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Osei Shalom b'mroa, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Osei Shalom b'mroa, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom.
We have a challah, but we also have gifts on behalf of our congregation, the Men's Club and Sisterhood, hoping that you will remember this really special moment in your life, and these gifts will help you do that. We look forward to tomorrow.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom!
Shabbat shalom.
I'll call you.